Hello, YouTube. Okay, I'm just saying hello by myself.
Hello.
You're going to like the stream. You're going to comment on the stream.
The floor.
This isn't even a stream.
No, I
this
was
is
like,
video.
don't go anywhere. Let's do the YouTube.
And we
together.
love you.
I
Subscribe.
thought you wanted. I
We're
thought
back
you were
to
about
this
to do a
view.
speech.
No, I'm not going to do a speech. Watch the
The
show.
parents are fighting.
That was a good clap, Katie.
It took a second.
Remember
That
that
was
one?
good.
I
Did
think
you
it
see
was
her
last week.
stare at her hands? She was
I'm
like,
telling
"Oh."
Katie, like we're lined up. This is
That's
ground.
That's a Division I athlete too. It's
This
like
is-
it's not
Oh,
like
no,
she's
no.
like a
Well,
No,
she's a
no.
rower.
Let me
not an ARP. like
rowing.
me.
Your butt's in place, your foot's in place, your hands are in place. There's no coordination. You
Sounds
have
like sex.
nowhere to move. Like 1, 2, 3.
What kind of sex
What?
are you
Yeah, what kind of
having?
sex are you have?
Oh, no. I was just kidding. I'm married.
So no sex.
So
So she doesn't move?
Who doesn't move?
If her hand and butt are in the place and feet and she's not
So
moving
get out of
at
my
all,
bedroom. What are you talking about?
You can't.
That
what
is
are
true.
you talking
This is
about?
weird. What are you talking about?
I will.
My wedding anniversary is this week.
I feel like you have an anniversary every couple months.
He just keeps on talking about this one because it's Philly. He wants to credit
why
for
you
going to
think
Philly
that?
on his anniversary.
You know why you think that? Because it's all in the football season, and that's when we're the most together.
I have. Well, first of all, in my house, I got 4 kids' birthdays, a wife's birthday, an anniversary.
No,
A lot of things happen in my house.
No, I'm not saying that like you always have an event. I feel like you and your wife have an anniversary like every few months. I
Oh,
know
it
you
always
don't, but
happens
that's what
when
it
we're
feels like.
November 11th every year.
And your wife's birthday is
October 13th.
yeah. So okay, just feels like a Groundhog Day situation.
Well, it's not. That's February 2nd.
That's such a great movie.
It's fine. I think it's fine.
You think it's overrated?
I don't think it's overrated or underrated. I just think it's fine. Like I can watch it if it's on. I'm never clamoring to watch. Oh, I gotta watch Groundhog Day.
I'll tell you what. It's no What About Bob. Don't you dare.
You know which Bill Murray movie doesn't get enough love? Scrooged.
Scrooge is great.
Scrooged is great.
What About Bob is
Yeah. What about
Top.
Bob's good, but Groundhog Day's way up there. I mean, Bill Murray's just a great. Been in a lot of great funny movies.
he has Scrooged.
John Candy was funny.
World Cup's coming up. Are you guys excited at all or no?
I love celebrating the World Cup because as an American, you can't be a bandwagon American. You always get up for
That's true.
the national teams.
Well, I mean,
Well, I'm talking about for the teams.
Well, tomorrow there's going to be no
Oh,
more
well.
bandwagon. No, I'm just
Yes.
kidding. No, it was a joke, guys.
I feel like for me, it's a little bit anticlimactic in comparison because it's in football season.
I know. I
When
think
it's
everyone's saying
when it's
that.
during the summer and
U.S.
it's,
plays England the day after Thanksgiving on a day we have football.
that's
Oh, I'm gonna love the World Cup.
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna love it. But
No,
I'm gonna
no.
ask Jack this because he'll know this the best. All I know about soccer, I know our men's team is not good. And as American, like, how do we get excited for the World Cup?
Well, we
Only
made
very-
it.
Well, it only comes
we made-
around.
this-
We haven't been since 2014. We missed the last
But we're not.
one.
It's group stages, right? So
Right.
we're probably not
And we're
going
going
to
to
get.
play England.
No, we can probably get out of this group. We can get out of
Yeah,
this group.
Oh,
we get
yeah?
out of the,
Okay.
yeah.
'Cause we play-
Who told you this?
We play Wales and
Iran.
Iran and then England and 2
Okay.
get out of the group.
And
Okay.
But even if you don't get out of the group play matches are still really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you should definitely, I guess we're probably going to be streaming, but going to a bar for the men's national team versus England is insane.
Oh, the
How would
American
they
versus
pick
England
the
will be
people to
amazing.
stream USA against England? Just pick all the Americans
Oh,
in the
no, I'm
office?
talking about for college football. We'll be streaming
No. Well, it's kind of, expressions and troops are going to come for the American.
Do you guys love America? Be at the stream.
That's why I hate whenever the soccer elitists, every single World Cup, they're like, oh, well, you don't follow it the other 3 years or 4 years. It's like, well, it is America. I don't follow gymnastics either, but guess what? When the Olympics come around, I love gymnastics.
You don't follow gymnastics?
You know, I used to
do.
cover the
I'm not,
SEC
I'm not allowed
gymnastics.
within 500 yards of one.
The SEC gym. Oh, you're disgusting. The
Yeah.
SEC gymnastics is crazy, though. Have you ever been to one of those?
No, I didn't. The defending gold medalist. She's at Auburn right
Sunny
now.
Lee.
Yeah,
Sunny
Sunny
Lee.
Lee.
I'll
And
tell
she's
you.
not the most popular girl on a gymnastics team in the SEC.
Is that LSU girl?
Yeah.
That's
so
on
hot.
TikTok.
God, she's hot.
She's a beautiful girl. Yeah.
What's her name again?
Livy Dunn.
Libby Dunn. Yep.
How many followers she got on TikTok?
Millions.
Like she's like a TikTok famous person, and then she also is elite at because LSU has a really good team.
Yeah, I did a couple of gymnastics matches at LSU, and they sell out just like basketball games do. But they even have like the shooting fire. They have everything.
We should do a show. Hello.
Hello, Dan.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm interrupting because this is a college football show. I thought it'd be perfect to tell you the guys' rivalry trophy. Do you remember they showed up at Iowa State?
Yeah.
And they just handed us the Cyhawk?
Yes.
They make
They
trophies.
were also at Michigan State.
Yes.
They handed us something there.
And no free ads, but I don't think Barstool's ever going to get into the replica trophy business.
Yeah.
These are the coolest things ever. So put that
This is
behind.
Paul Bunyan's axe.
Yes, Paul Bunyan's axe.
Did they send you the trophy?
The trophy.
You know what the trophy I'm talking about?
No, I need him to make it.
Yes.
All right.
Civil conflict.
Before you leave,
Congrats on winning Cum
Yeah.
Ass.
it's Cum Bowl.
Cumble.
Well, Cum Ass.
Do you want to say?
It's Cum Ass.
Do you want to say anything else about what you said to me this morning? The first thing you said.
You've been so wrong about Nick Saban this year in Alabama, and every time you're wrong about it, you say you're not wrong, and then we're like, Brandon, you keep giving the same speech. You're like, no, this time's
I've
different.
done it twice.
Nick Saban's gonna walk in there and he's gonna whoop their ass.
Exactly what I sound like.
And we're like, no, Brandon, you said this about Tennessee, and Tennessee beat them, and then we're like, oh, Nick Saban going to Death Valley, he's gonna show him who daddy is. And it's like, nope. Listen, Nick Saban is only daddy to one child left in the SEC, and that's Mississippi State.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Because they never fucking score.
I
against
appreciate the trophy. We're beating Georgia
Thank you,
this
Dan.
week.
them. Yes. No, you're not.
We might.
Nope.
We could
Nope.
get a trophy made for that game.
That is awesome.
Y'all,
This
re-
is really cool.
y'all ready to do
It's
the
a
show?
lot heavier than I thought it was.
That's what she said. Hello and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football show, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Do you tailgate? Do you watch football? Do you sit on your couch? Do you enjoy good, delicious beverages? High Noon is for you. They've got the tailgate pack. Right here is the pear and the cranberry, the grapefruit, the black cherry. I could go on and on about all the flavors that we talk about so often, the peach, the lime, the watermelon, all of it. High Noon. There's a reason that everywhere you go right now, you see High Noons in the crowd because they're delicious and they're easy to drink and they're great. High Noon.
They're fantastic. Can't wait to try them again.
And what was football season like before High Noon got here? Probably sucked.
Definitely
I
sucked.
can't imagine it.
I don't
You know
wanna-
what High Noon did? 10x'd the football season.
They really did. They
They
did.
did.
High Noon 10x to everything. High Noon, check them out. Liquor stores everywhere. But you know where to buy High Noon. I mean, they're everywhere at this point. All right. Hello. How's everybody doing?
I am great.
I don't like the way you said that.
I thought he was going to say something else. Great. Was
How are you
anticlimactic.
doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
You're fine for 2 now.
I am.
Katie?
Hanging in there.
Katie yelled at me before the show
You
started.
deserved it. You
Katie
deserved
yelled at me
it.
before. No, I did not. I did not. I was telling her what to look up, and she wasn't listening to me. And I said, "Hey,
Yes, she was.
You said it, but the spelling. I don't. If
I was telling you the spelling.
But you were saying it in a way. You're saying it quicker than I can
T-O-O.
fix it.
T-O-O. T-O-O.
She was getting there.
T-O-O. It's Bartow.
He's spicy today, isn't he?
Oh.
I'm not spicy today. Are you spicy today, Jack?
No, Jets won.
Jets, Jets?
But Tottenham sucks. So.
They really do. I watched some of that.
Yeah, well,
Salah? Is Salah?
Okay, first of all,
Salah?
the team's injured.
Huh?
Like all of Tottenham.
Well, you're the one that said Tottenham sucks. Why are you then going back against me when I agree
Because-
with you?
Because he can say it.
I could say it, yeah.
I can say it too. I watched some of that game, and Mo Salah was just having his way with Tottenham.
He
That
scored a goal.
happened.
He scored a goal.
Scored 2 goals.
No, I don't think he scored the second one.
He scored the first 2 goals, Jack. I watched both of them. It was the first one he scored in the box, and the second one he scored on a breakaway where he looped it over the keeper. Watched soccer one time, buddy.
Hey, you know who else won?
No, you can look it up.
He's right.
Uh-huh.
You know who else won?
Who? Tom Brady? I don't care.
Jeez.
I care.
First time you've mentioned him all year.
Well, because he's not played well. But it turns out divorce makes you win.
Really?
I mean,
Well, I'm about to have a uncomfortable conversation with my wife.
think about it. They've sucked all year.
Y'all think
He's
I'll be better once I
officially
get divorced, or?
I think you'll be a problem, a liability.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, you would have to compete with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady would have to compete with you for women.
We're not fishing in the same ponds.
You might be. How do you know? Don't sell yourself short.
No.
I was selling him short. I was putting myself above him. All right, it is college football. We have arrived. Now, I got a question. We're recording this on Monday. Are we putting it out on Monday, or are we saying, hey, guys, here it is? Or are we going to wait till Tuesday like we always do?
Well, now that you've said it,
Can you edit it tonight?
Well, I mean, it would be dumb if, not dumb on your part, but dumb on our part if we recorded a show on Monday, something happened tomorrow, and we didn't have it in
I
the
think he was
podcast.
planning on editing it tonight.
So we should just go ahead and put it out and say, tell them it's going to come out Monday this week.
Well, yeah, they're
Well, it
listening
is.
right now.
Yeah, they're listening to it.
But I'm telling you on Twitter,
Oh, okay. Well,
it's almost like an Inception thing right now. They are listening to me say this, so they already know this. But as of right now, they don't know this.
Yes.
So at some point, it has to be said.
Yes.
I've gone cross-eyed.
It does feel very much like a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday feeling Monday, but the reason we're doing it on Monday this week is I have to be in the dozen tomorrow night on Tuesday, and we have to get down there at like 4 o'clock. So
You gonna win?
It's his show.
it's my show.
Oh, I don't know.
Just like this one, it's my show.
Have you won an
Oh,
MVP?
fair. No, because he's not one.
She,
First
Oh,
of all,
if
first of
you're-
all,
she knew the answer.
first of all,
I knew that answer.
I
like
was in
90%.
line-
Those that are listening,
I was in-
90%
just
shot.
I was
I
in
knew
line
the
to win the
answer.
MVP when we lost when Jeff wrote a bad second half last year, and they came back and beat us. But I was going to win that MVP, so I'm the best player to never win an MVP.
Fair enough.
Kind of like
I'm like Tua. I'm
yeah.
the best player to not win the Heisman. Or
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence,
that's who I
pretty
am
good.
right now.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. I'm very Peyton.
You are Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So we're going to talk a lot about college football today, right? We're coming off. I think this is almost like a reset weekend, where when Tennessee lost and Clemson lost, it kind of resets your mind as you go forward the rest of the season. And this show, I want to focus on the rest of the season a lot. I have written down 8 questions. It's going to be a Q&A where I just throw 8 rhetorical questions into the world, and we all answer them together. That's what we're doing today.
Kumbaya.
Isn't that going to be fun?
I am ready for these questions. Let me tell you.
He does. He has,
Somehow he has a way, even when he's not being sarcastic, it sounds sarcastic.
that's what I was about to say. He does
Right,
have
he was
a
being
gift.
earnest there and honest, and the way he said it still sounded like a dick bag.
This is why people have an unreasonable hate for me.
I think my hate for you is reasonable.
Yeah, but yours
know
is,
him, though.
You know me. Like, if you know me and hate me, credit to you.
All right, you've earned it.
You've earned it, pal.
Like you've actually done the research. You've
Yeah.
spent the
yeah,
time.
you've spent the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, he's saying the people that unreasonably hate him that don't
Jack just
know
looks
him.
at people in his office that hate him and like, oh, that guy's done the work, man. He's
But
more power to him. He's
it
right.
is-
He's probably right.
it is a good point, though. It's like if you've been around me enough
Yeah.
and you actually know me on, off camera, who I am, and you still don't like me, like, I can't argue with
Let me
you
say
there.
this to everybody out there that doesn't like Casey or something, whatever. If you got to know her, you would like her so much less.
I knew that was coming.
Yep.
I was
mean,
like, oh,
you don't know how lucky you are that you just see her and like have to guess if she's likable or not.
You can pause. We can't pause.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
or mute.
So I
But
do
that's-
have Paul Bunyan's ex right here.
But you do still want people to think that you have number 5 here.
oh, I mean, they don't have to think it. I mean,
And we kind of told them.
yeah, when they have to pull that thing out by the ears, the people are going to know.
Ew, don't say
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, that's what happened to me.
Yeah, your mom said you were real ugly.
Okay, relax.
She did.
Relax. Pause. We sat at dinner in Baton Rouge, and my mom just for 2 hours. He was the ugliest little baby.
Heinous.
Heinous looking, yes. And you realize how psychotic you got to be to use the word heinous to describe your kids?
Maybe it's in her vernacular.
See, he did it again.
He did it again. He did do it again.
He did it again. Like, that was a fine. Okay. Little news before we get started. College football. Nothing really changed that much in the AP poll. Not the AP poll matters at all really anymore. We're really talking about the college football playoff. We've had a coach fired. That was Jeff Scott down at South Florida. South Florida's a team you don't notice unless they have a good up-and-coming coach. Mm-hmm. They're one of those teams where you're like, South Florida's a team you usually hear about in coach hiring season, but the other way around. Like, who's Auburn going to hire? I don't know, maybe that up-and-comer out of South Florida, something like that. But this time, they've fallen on hard times down there in South Florida.
They used to be something.
They used to be really good, and then the Willie Taggart era was it ended fine, and then Charlie Strong went there and started strong and then fell off, and now Jeff Scott was just god-awful for 3 years.
Charlie Strong, I mean, he could have dropped off the planet when he left Texas, and I would have completely forgotten he existed.
He's in Florida, right?
Who?
Charlie Strong.
No.
I don't think he's.
Charlie Strong was with the Jags.
Miami. He's in Miami. He's
the
in
Dolphins.
college football right now.
No, he's not.
I don't
I
think
sure?
he is.
think he's with the
He
Dolphins.
didn't catch on with Miami?
he's Miami, Florida, co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach.
Nice.
Damn, I didn't know that. Again, he could have.
He was with the Jags.
Who wants to apologize?
I'll apologize
Never.
because I just said if he fell off the face of the earth in 2016, I wouldn't have even recognized it.
Say sorry, Daddy.
Oh, I said you're right.
Why do you always say ugh?
When you say daddy, because the way you say it,
I got 4 kids, woman.
no, but you're
no
not
one
saying it that
uses
way.
it. Once you get past the age of 3, daddy loses the vocabulary.
I said daddy till the day my dad died. I say daddy.
Maybe the South.
Oh, we say yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you can say
When a little kid is like, daddy, that's cute, fine. But when the
All
full
right,
grown.
you get on the phone with your dad right now and you say, hey, daddy, or hey, dad.
I say dad.
You say
I think
dad?
But also keep in mind, like coming from like girls to their dad,
Yeah.
because if I called him daddy, it would be weird. It's
I
conflict
call
of
different
interest.
people.
Yeah.
Just
Have you seen the TikTok? I'm sure Jack, you have the TikTok
the
where
answer is almost assuredly going to be no.
where the girl asks for daddy to pass the salt, and both the dad and the boyfriend reach for the salt at the same time. It
that's
is
terrific.
so funny.
Um,
It is very uncomfortable and hilarious.
can I tell y'all what my TikTok algorithm is?
It's the guy.
I know what it is.
Zeb Ross. Zeb Ross is in there. A lot of bass fishing. A lot of topwater bass fishing. What?
You realize I have access to your account.
I understand.
So
I can pull it up right now. I get a lot of what do I get?
The last 3 boobs.
I'm about to
I
say
get a lot of titties. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's
I get a
because
lot
you
of
look at
titties.
titties.
And not subtle titties. You got like girls in tank tops
I
bending
don't
over.
search for them though. They
No,
just come across.
But you must be sitting on them for longer, so they pop
oh
up more
yeah.
often.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't blame you. Pull it up. Let's see.
Uh,
I loved that thing for a while.
get
I think
a
we did in the
lot of
office, like
fishing
how
videos.
long you scroll until you get a thirst trap on
I get
TikTok.
hold on.
Let's-
My first one is just this. I don't know what that is. Okay. I'll do home. All right. All right. Titties. That's Barstool. Okay. No, that was Barstool. That's an ad. This is a guy getting told he needs to go. Okay. Ha. Have you ever heard of the ancient Greek hero Bophades? That's a pretty good one. Golf. Titties.
Oh, that's what's happening in this TikTok.
She's gonna turn around. Here we go.
Well, that's a
No, there's one. That's my favorite. I watch all of these. A topwater fishing bait coming towards us. Oh! Did you see that?
Fish, Barstool, golf,
Brandon's
ad,
or yours?
Brandon's, maps. I don't know.
I get so much fishing.
Molinero.
By the way, Katie, we need to talk. Let's do this on the air.
Oh, God.
Okay.
First of all, Katie Stats does a remarkable job for me, and my life would be worse if she weren't running it.
You're gonna say something about the freezing cold takes and the timing.
Yes.
Those are the ones that
She
get
puts clips out there that make me look like the dumbest motherfucker
But-
ever.
Those are
I
the
schedule
ones-
everything out on Thursdays. I schedule it's not
Those are the ones that get the
intentionally.
engagement.
Okay, that's fine, but I show
remember,
up
hey,
on
clips are
I show up on
clips.
TikTok on Sunday morning, and I'm just getting it's a constant stream of this aged well, this aged well, this aged well. Like fuck.
But people are clicking on it and listening to it.
All right.
I
Hey,
do
clicks or clicks?
the vast majority of scheduling Wednesday afternoon to Thursday, and I put out. I'll do better and be like, this was scheduled from a take from this whatever.
Don't do it.
But
No, it was called out in the
Numbers.
company meeting, right? That nobody posted more TikToks like over a week span than I did.
not a company
Like
meeting,
last
but
week, or something like that.
guys said it to you.
But that was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's me.
So I'm just active as hell. on
Yes, for
TikTok.
anyone who sees
But
Brandon Walker's Instagram,
I-
that's me.
TikTok.
And
And
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, fair enough. Freudian slip.
But you also
Buzz
do
bump,
Instagram.
yeah.
But then the top performing TikToks that make you look good, like the Bambi thing, I put that up this morning because I did well on
Is it
TikTok.
doing good?
Yeah.
Good.
I did well on TikTok. Your Auburn, the Hugh Freeze, we collab. That's on Unnecessary Roughness too.
All right.
So.
Good stuff. So college football.
Before we get there,
Yeah.
I'm going to pull a Jack. I'm going to pull a nice little segue.
Please.
Do it.
You heard about Game Time and how great they are?
That was your segue? Just saying, have you heard about them?
I was going to try to like be a little bit like
What an incredible what an incredible
Okay, hold on,
gateway
hold on.
into
Hold on,
into
you ready?
Game Time.
Let's start over.
All right.
Are you a fan
I am a fan.
of what?
College football and shows and concerts.
And apparently hockey now?
Hockey, all sports, pretty much anywhere you could have a ticket to
Okay,
go to.
okay. Hear me out. Do you know who can help you go to all those things?
Sure do.
Who?
The guy upstairs that gets us all the tickets.
Game Time.
Game time!
Game Time.
Game Time. You can go download the Game Time app right now and get access to the lowest price tickets late in the game. You're never it's never too late with Game Time. It's never too late because they're going to guarantee you the lowest price on game day.
And if you haven't given them a shot yet, you can get money off, which I feel like people aren't really realizing. It's like, you hear us talk about it. We talk about it all over Barstool right now. But if you've never given Game Time a shot, you can just have to go download the app, create a login, redeem the code RUFF, Brandon. RUFF. You get $20 off your first purchase. So not only are you guaranteed the lowest price, if you've never tried Game Time, which you should by now, you also get $20 off.
Put in code RUFF for daddy.
Ew.
Okay. By the way, Game Time's on the screen, and that's the most pleasing seating chart I've ever looked at in my life.
It is really,
That's a
really
beautiful
nice.
seating chart.
Their UI is great.
Really?
Yeah.
What about their user interface?
I was hoping you didn't know it. Because
did.
it would have been funny, been like, what the fuck is that, Jack?
No,
There he goes again, acting like he knows more than everybody else.
I will say
you said that, not me.
that any time I can go, if I'm buying tickets, and Game Time does it the best, and you can click on wherever there's an available ticket and it'll show you the view from where you're sitting. That is an absolute game changer.
All right. Game Time is the best. Check them out. Get you some last-minute tickets and get them at the right price.
And they can get last-minute tickets to Friday.
Friday, the Barstool Invitational, Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia. I'll be there doing a lot of stuff. Might dunk off a trampoline, might not.
Wait, why?
Oh, what?
What
Might
happened?
not?
Apparently there's...
Like rules.
let's
Weight
just say
limit?
this.
Is there a weight limit?
I was
Oh.
asked for my specific weight this morning. And when I said my specific weight, the person asking the question went, oh. So I might not be able to jump on the trampoline. There was a very audible, oh.
Who said that?
I mean, you can just kind of look
Mancini?
at you.
Oh, but he was
Oh,
probably just being
that's
a
fucking
dickhead.
with you.
Yeah.
He's a nice. He does it like in a joking way.
Oh.
But, I mean,
It was a visceral reaction.
is anybody surprised you're a gigantic human? Like, obviously.
Imagine you said that to her. She
Yeah, I am a
imagine
gigantic
I said
human
that
right
to
now.
her.
But you are a bit. You're a big dude.
I weigh 222 pounds.
I don't feel like that's heavy at all for how tall you are.
Well, it's not. That's about 50 pounds off.
I was about to say 222 at your
Yeah.
height, you would be like ripped.
Oh, I would look good.
Yeah, you would look good at
Yeah.
222.
I've said this before. I am so bad at men's
You
weight.
said 222, and my brain went,
I was like,
wow.
I beat DeAndre Hopkins
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah.
like,
You're
I
an
was like,
NFL
that
wide
sounds-
receiver.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound bad at all.
No, I'm about 270.
I still don't think that that's that bad.
250 is the limit, though.
What do you mean?
Oh,
For the tramp. Elaine.
We can. How about this? Meatball Molly.
She was like,
You can cut weight with
250 is
Meatball.
not the limit.
You can cut weight with Meatball Molly.
Really?
Yeah, you
Oh.
can cut weight with her.
Oh, do not suggest that to anybody.
All that being said, it wouldn't matter because like you wouldn't be able to even jump. When they weigh in, they can't really do anything. Then they rehydrate.
All right.
It's a really bizarrely dumb concept.
It really is.
Okay.
Not healthy.
Here we go.
Invitational.
College football.
Barstool.tv.com to watch. Well, you can watch it online. We'll put out links on socials.
We have an
Yes.
ad
And
for that later.
we'll talk about it later.
True.
I got it in my hands right here.
I can already. There's somebody in Peoria watching us saying, talk about college football. God damn it. So here we go. College football. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
I have 8 questions, but let's do a little news. Jeff Scott got fired. We'll see what happens with that. One of the big things this morning was, and Nicole Auerbach has basically said, it's probably not true. But Dan Patrick was talking that San Diego State expected to join the Pac-12. Announcement could be made as early as this week. And again, Nicole Auerbach, terrific reporter, said the report about Pac-12 announcing SDSU is inaccurate. So we're not there yet. If we were there, that would be a wet fart of an announcement, wouldn't it? Like I'm replacing UCLA and USC with San Diego State.
Would there be any addition that
Yeah,
would
but-
not be wet for?
Right, that's what I was about to say. Who? I mean,
Yeah, if they went out and got
splash, but
Oklahoma State and Texas TCU,
if they got an already like somebody that's already in a different Power 5 conference,
what about you're taking San Diego State and not Boise State? That's interesting to me.
I do. So she in her tweet also mentions like they're going to do a media deal before any conference expansion.
Which doesn't make sense at all.
I feel like it should be the opposite.
Right,
They should
yeah.
figure out who they're going to add to the conference and then go and say, hey, look at this media market that we can get because you're losing, quote, losing the LA market.
It is interesting to me that the Power 5 does seem to be expanding as we move into. We've had so many conference changes over the years. We're also adding teams to the Power 5. So my thought process that the Power 5 is going to break off and be its own thing to keep all the money. I don't know if it takes a hit or if it lends credence that now we're adding more teams to split it. Like you ever since we did that, you've added. Cincinnati's going to be a Power 5 team. UCF's going to be a Power 5 team. BYU's going to be a Power 5 team. Houston's going to be a Power 5 team. And even though Nicola Auerbach has shut this down temporarily, I got to think that San Diego State is probably getting at it at some point if we've gotten this report.
What do you think is more likely for the Pac-12 to go out and get something like San Diego State or try to take an Oklahoma State or a
I don't know
pre-existing
if the
Power
Pac-12
5?
has the swagger or the nuts needed to go get somebody from the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like they're that cutthroat. I feel like Pac-12 is almost like, all right, we'll bring some teams from the West Coast up to our level, but we're not going to go out and steal, and we're not going to make this not a Pacific conference. We're not going to take Oklahoma State just to do it.
It does feel that way with a lot of the decisions they've made just since we've started the podcast too. When we talked about it in 2020, when it was like the Pac-12 was just holding the Big Ten's hand, deciding on if they were going to play or not, it does have that feel where it's like, well, we're not going to upset the Big Ten or the SEC, but we'll still do our own thing.
But why?
I don't know.
Like we've seen in conference expansion, right? You got to have big balls
Right.
to win, and this isn't a good boys club anymore.
But
this is a good boys club because this is the club of stabbing each other in the back.
But Jack, you got to have, in order to have big balls, you got to have big money behind you. The SEC can have big balls. The Big Ten can have big balls. Pac-12 is just trying to stay afloat. I mean, they're just trying to not stay afloat, but they're not the kind that's going to go out there. They're not going to go 2,000 miles away and say, hey, come join our conference because we're going to split billions of dollars. They can't do that.
That's fair.
If you talk about like the Good Boys Club, if any of the Power 5 conferences are still running as if it is the Pac-12. Like they don't seem like they're going to be scheming behind people's back. I mean, granted, everybody is scheming in college football, but the Pac-12 doesn't
They're
seem
the guy
like
with no money. That's like how are we
gonna do
fucked
this?
up that
I saw another TikTok. This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. And it was sitting down these guys that said they love college sports. I know college sports, and says, hey, there are 5 Division I. There are 5 Power 5 teams that are named the Tigers. And I immediately thought of 4. And while I'm watching the TikTok, I can never think of the 5th one. Who's the 5th one?
Okay, so Auburn,
LSU,
Clemson.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Who's the 5th one?
Power 5?
Power 5?
Yeah, is there a 5th Power 5 Tiger?
Wait. 5th Power
Auburn,
5?
Clemson, LSU, Missouri.
Maybe it was Division I, but I think he said Power 5.
I don't think there's another Power 5.
Got to be a Power. This is what bothered me yesterday. I was looking at
Well,
TikTok.
obviously
You
there's
didn't look it
Memphis. There's obviously Memphis, but that's
So-
not Power
Not Power
5.
five.
Okay, so there's not a Big Ten Tigers, right?
Nope.
There's not a Pac-12 Tigers. Huh.
That had to have been worded wrong.
Yeah, well,
If
Not
oh,
you,
they're
I'm saying the
Panthers.
TikTok.
this doesn't help us. Just do Division I Tigers or Division I nicknames.
I'm doing Tigers.
Don't yell at her for typing.
See, this threw me off.
It had to have been
See,
Division
it changed
I.
my day, and now it's going to change y'all's day.
Cincinnati.
Jackson State.
Cincinnati Bengals. See, that's not
Right.
Jackson State's the Tigers. Yeah, I'll keep looking. Memphis,
Grambling
Missouri,
State.
Pacific, Princeton.
There
So
isn't one.
it has to be
Yeah, it
Division
has
One.
to
It
be.
has to be Memphis is the 5th one.
Memphis
right?
has to be the 5th.
Princeton.
All right. See, I'm glad they're not Division One.
They say major
They're-
power conference. Maybe they said that for
They
basketball.
did say major.
Basketball, they're
Yeah.
in the AAC.
There it is.
There it is.
I'm glad
Jack.
we worked through it. Yes. All right. Y'all ready to get to the questions?
Yes. Do you want to talk about what we talked about before right now about giving out cookies, or is that going to come later?
That can come later. That can come in the conversation, but I do
All
want I do want to get to it. All right. Here I've got 8 questions that are going to frame this discussion about college football. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yep.
We have a full month left in the season, and we're going to figure out this playoff. And I don't want to get this show bogged down every time we come out and say, who's going to be in the playoff? Here's the hypotheticals. What if LSU wins? What if that's all going to come out in the wash? We'll talk about it. So it's not going to be that. So here's the question. Number 1. Who is the most important team for the rest of the 2022 football season? Now, you can take that and have it mean whatever you want, whether it's the best team so far, which is Georgia, whether it's the team that could win Ohio State, Michigan. The way I framed it in my mind was, who's the most important team for these last 3 weeks, these last 4 weeks? I got 3 that came to my mind. Utah is an incredibly important football team because they play They play Oregon. And if they were to beat Oregon, they would go to the Pac-12 championship, and then they would play the winner of USC UCLA. Utah with 2 losses could just destroy the Pac-12's chance to get in the playoff by themselves. They're a team to watch. Texas could be important to watch because they're the next step for TCU. If TCU is going to be legit and they're going to be up there and they're going to be in this playoff discussion and they're going to be in this playoff, they got to go through teams like Texas. And if they can't beat Texas, Texas changes the look of this playoff. And then I've got LSU. LSU just upset the apple cart in the SEC, put themselves in line to go the SEC championship game where they could beat Georgia and throw the whole thing into chaos, or frankly, they could lose to Arkansas and then the West becomes this weird wide open thing. Who's the most important team going forward in this season?
So
it could be anybody
right,
you want.
It could be anybody. You're taking it as who could be the most important
Who could
upset.
who could affect this season the
Yes,
most, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Remember when we tiered college football teams in the offseason? It was like, who could fuck shit up? That's what you did, which is very important, obviously. I'm going to take it a different way. I think this is probably pretty chalky, but I do feel like it's true. I think the most important team is TCU. Because if TCU does stay undefeated, they will absolutely be in. But right now, they're holding that spot where anytime you're arguing about the college football playoff and arguing about the rest of the season, you just keep sitting there being like, well, I saw Dan was getting in the mix with it too. It's like, well, you can think TCU's not going to be in it. And that's fine. You can think they're not going to go undefeated. However, right now they are undefeated, and there is a chance that they could be. So I think waiting to see what TCU does really shapes the rest of the playoff. So I'm going to take TCU, but to your point, Texas being there, they also play that important role. But TCU is the team everybody's looking at, do I buy that they should be there? Where are they going to be in the college football playoff ranking? And can they go undefeated?
It was very well said.
Are you being sarcastic?
It was very well said. I was being a nice guy.
You see where it sucks when someone thinks you're being sarcastic, huh? Anyways, 100% agree
Thank you, Jack.
With which one?
with TCU
Okay.
because, actually, I'm not going to regurgitate a point because it was so perfect.
Why
Was that sarcastic too?
See, you never know with him.
for you? Why is it Utah, not USC?
Because
Pac-12.
Utah's the only one that could win that conference and not get in the playoff. Utah has 2 losses.
Yeah.
Utah could knock Oregon out, and then they could knock. And see, USC and UCLA are going to play, so they're going to eliminate each other, one of them. So whoever survives that game is going to go to the Pac-12 championship game. Utah could knock Oregon out, and then could knock USC out.
Fair.
And then they're sitting there with 2 losses as a conference champion, and they've only got 1 loss in the Pac-12, so they're on the same standing as USC right now and UCLA. Oregon obviously doesn't have a Pac-12 loss.
Yeah.
I can't believe they lost to Florida.
Who, Utah? I don't think Utah's all that good, but
No, but Florida is. That is one of those losses that you look back, you're like, how?
yeah.
How?
Wait, I have an answer,
Okay, well, you just agree with her.
but I think there's one I just thought of.
Okay,
Ole Miss.
continue.
Because if Ole Miss wins this weekend,
Right.
don't they win the West if they win out?
No. LSU would if LSU wins out.
LSU has
If
a
Ole
loss.
Miss, if Ole Miss
Their
beats,
second loss is out of conference.
if Ole Miss beats Bama, they put themselves in great position to finish 11-1 and winning the West. But they would need LSU to lose a game because LSU beat them. So I said it with TCU the other day, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Ole Miss has a chance to win the West when
I agree. With
they're 8-1 and they've beaten. It's either 0 teams with a winning record or it's 1. It's 1 because they beat Kentucky. They've beaten 1 team with a winning record.
It would be insane in this office if we have to listen to Ole Miss.
I'll quit.
I don't think he's kidding either.
I'll quit.
No, if Ole
He'll just
Miss
do his
is
own
in
thing.
the
I'm
SEC
fine. I'll be fine.
championship,
I'll have a Patreon set up by
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'll be fine.
can I come with you?
No, if he sets up a Patreon, he's going into a cabin by himself with just his family. He ain't talking to us again.
If you set up a Patreon, though, did you know you can also do video on Patreon? I didn't know that. There are people out there that are kind of using it as like an OnlyFans type thing. What if we did topless podcasting?
The 2 best
You're
titties
still
in Barstool.
you're still upset you weren't on the list.
No, I'm not.
Mintz,
Speaking of,
Mintz tweeted out the best 3 tits at Barstool, or best 3 sets of tits at Barstool, and Casey Smith was like mad.
well, that's not true. I also just can't believe that was a real tweet.
Is it still up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He included himself. For people that are listening are thinking he actually like ranked the boobs.
Okay, but he kind of did.
He
There were
kinda
two others
did, yes.
that were women.
But definitely, he should not have tweeted it. But it is very funny if you'd be like, "Did you see Mince rank titties?
Yeah, still up.
How is it still up?"
Man, I'm going viral.
I didn't. I know I said this off camera, but I didn't see the original tweet. I just was getting replies like, "Oh, shots at Casey, like
Yeah.
shots fired." I was like, "What's he talking? What are these people talking about?" Went and saw this. Came into the office. The first thing that happened was Brandon called me over and was like, "Hey, are you mad?" And I was like, "Mad about what?" I thought something horrible had happened. He's like, "Mince didn't rank your titties."
All right.
Anyways, so yes, Ole Miss is a good answer, Jack.
Ole Miss is a fine answer.
Katie, do you have one?
No, I think everything that's been brought up is good points.
My next question. The 2022 football season.
Damn.
Going
Freudian
back to
slip.
COVID.
Yeah.
How will you remember the 2022 football season? How will it be the year that we finally saw Alabama be normal? Will it be the year that we saw Clemson be mortal in the ACC? Will it be the year of Tennessee? Will it be the year of Kansas? What have we seen what this season's going to be defined for? Remember last year before the season I said, I think this year will be the year of defense, where defense fights back, and I think that happened. I don't have a good read on anything, like in between the lines. I'm not sure anything has like come forward this year. How will you remember the 2022 football season?
I don't think we're going to know if it's the Bama, the changing of the guard, until 2 or 3 years from now, because if the pattern continues. Because if the pattern does, we'll look back and point to this year.
Yeah.
But right now, we don't know if it's a glitch. Or
Alabama's, and let's take a side road and talk about Alabama. This is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to use these questions and take side roads. Alabama has lost 2 games. Now, on the surface, they have lost 2 games to rivals on the road by 4 points. Mm-hmm. That's generally not that bad. That's okay. I mean, like that happens every now and then. But if you dig a little deeper, yeah, they lost those 2 games. They also could have lost at Texas. They've had a couple times where they have been in real danger. They have not looked vintage Alabama. Their defense is giving up points and plays that they've never given up before. Bryce Young is holding things together with bubble gum and tape and everything. This is just not it's a good football team. It's not a good Alabama football team. And that's how hallowed the ground is that they put themselves in. Is this the torch being passed? Is Alabama like passing the torch to Georgia?
That's to Katie's point, to even further that. We might not know for a couple of years what it looks like for Alabama, but it also depends on what happens with Georgia. Because say they repeat this year, which they have a very clear path to doing, and Alabama keeps losing a couple games, doesn't make it in the playoff, absolutely this is the passing of the torch. But we won't know until we see what Georgia does and Alabama does.
Two things. Number one is I'm writing down my second thing so I don't forget it.
That's a word?
Yeah, it's message board. The 2 things. If you think, coming into the season, we thought Alabama was built to peak this year. We thought their talent was built to peak this year. They had a junior quarterback coming off a Heisman Trophy. Next year, I know the transfer portal's a thing, but they won't have a Will Anderson. They won't have Bryce Young. They won't have Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of this defense that we thought was peaking this year will be gone. Like, it's going to be the youngest, most inexperienced, most new Alabama team we've seen in a long, long time next year. I'm not sure they're built. As of right now, they're not built to be elite next year. So
the only danger in that, I feel like we fall in the trap a lot, is that we say, well, they're losing a lot. But it is still Nick Saban recruiting. It still is Alabama, so they do rebuild very quickly. However, he did say last year was a rebuilding year, and clearly they had a better season last year than they're going to this year.
All right, now the second part of that is I need Alabama idiot message board posters that are working at O'Reilly Auto Parts in Anniston, Alabama. I need posts from them saying Nick Saban should be fired. Like, I need air to breathe. I need it so much. Katie's pulled out 2 for me here just to read it. Listen, this is a team that's been the best dynasty in college football the last 15 years. This is a team that is always in the playoff, always winning titles. And here we go. I just got 2 message board posts I want to read to you. Beastman321, shout out to you working the double shift there at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Beastman321 on the Bama Online message board. It is The subject is F- coaching staff. It is time to clean house. Our coaches have no balls, and this is the softest Alabama team I've seen since the Shula days. If Saban won't fire both of these coordinators, he just needs to retire. And then
It's time to clean
this guy's
house.
name is Christian something. Christian, I can't see his name, but it's definitely Christian.
Looks like Cando.
Christian Cando? All right.
That's what I looked.
I've been an Alabama fan for 32 years. This team is embarrassing. Now, keep in mind, he's been an Alabama fan for 32 years. Half of his life, they've been the best team in America.
Well, see, that my brain was immediately like, so was he born and he's 32 now, or
I'm thinking he's born as 32.
Was he like in high school and he decided to be an Alabama fan?
I'm thinking he's 32. He's 32 years old.
Okay.
And
That's
over
what I figured,
over
but-
half his life has been nothing but national titles. All right. I've been an Alabama fan for 32 years. This team is embarrassing. We clearly aren't a good team. Bryce Young is overrated. Our defense is overrated. Our team is average at best. Nick Saban should be fired right now. I speak for every Alabama fan. I love it so much. Bring me those dump tears. I love them. Oh, they're delicious.
You know when we used to read recruiting
They've
profiles?
lost 2 games by 4 points.
Two.
Yeah.
Well, like when we used to read recruiting profiles and we'd go through line by line and make fun of it.
Place.
Which, I mean, Bryce Young being overrated.
It's one of the crazier.
He won the Heisman last year, sir.
I forgot about recruiting profiles and how sexual
Yes.
they were.
Yeah.
They still
We'll do
are
that in the
probably
offseason. We'll do that for signing day.
Yeah.
Just find the most
Sexualized. Or we
could just, like,
sexualized.
Yes.
Like I actually have it up. You want me to just have? I'm gonna pull up Cormani McClain. He's a
The number
cornerback.
2, yeah, committed
who
to
just
Miami.
committed to Miami.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about Cormani's strengths.
Yeah.
The
A new age cornerback prospect that has a chance to be a difference maker at the high football size level, given his rare blend of size, length, and speed.
Yes.
There it is.
He can quickly close gaps with
I bet he can.
I bet he can.
with an elite burst.
I mean, these guys are just writing porn.
He's tested off the charts
Yeah, that's not good.
and has one of the highest ceilings in this entire class.
Oh, man.
Given he knows how he moves.
Man, that short burst, that explosive burst.
Could
Guys-
experience some initial growing pains.
I bet he could.
But freakish traits are worth molding for the long haul.
Oh, he's built for the marathon.
He's got freakish traits.
Yep. Length and speed.
I feel like you know how your your message board name was something cutie. NBA
Hoops cutie.
Hoops cutie. You could be freakish traits. Somebody I think it'd be freakish traits 73
With a
or
Z.
something
Make
like
sure
yeah.
you have a Z
traits
for
with
sure.
a Z.
But the I speak for every Alabama fan of this is just hilarious.
Now you understand right now, and message boards are incredible, but you understand, and this is happening in Alabama message boards. They've lost twice, so it's time to fire their coach. I'm sure, without looking, Clemson has had at least 3 fire Dabo posts this week. I just love. There's something about the constant when college football recycles with elite teams. And teams cycle up and down. When you see Tennessee come back, but there's something about when Tennessee finally, or when Clemson finally has a year where they don't look elite, Alabama finally has a year, and their fans can't handle it. Here we go. Fire Dabo says, I love Brittany. By the way, I love Brittany is an All-American at TigerNet. Time for him to go. UNT has HC from NC State that coaches to win. Who's UNT?
University of
Texas?
Has an
What
HC
is-
from NC State that coaches to win at UNT. Doesn't have IPTAY. What's IPTAY backing? Is that something that Clemson has? And Clemson Nation, he could bring us more natties. Since I'm bitching about message boards, and this happens in the SEC, I don't think it happens anywhere else. When they say, instead of saying out Saban or Nick Saban, they say CNS, or at Knoxville, they'll say what's his name?
JH.
CJH.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They shorten it to Coach Nick Saban, Coach, and they always say CJH, CNS. Just say Saban. I don't know
IPTAY looks like their ticketing office, or like
What?
IPTAY.
What time of the day was that
Supporting-
posted?
Clemson. Oh, maybe that's their NIL.
IPTAY.
IPTAY annual fund number.
What was
Wonder
that?
obviously, T is Tiger.
Was that message board post
Who knows?
a drunk one? What time of the day was
He
that?
loves
posted?
Brittany.
He loves Brittany, first of all.
Wow.
Leave,
Spears?
leave Brittany alone.
Imagine-
Spears?
Imagine they just don't tell us what IPTAY means. It's just like no. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
IPTAY.
If you don't know, you can't afford
You call
it.
them and like, I'm gonna give I'm going to give $1,500 to IPTE, but can you just tell me what it means? And they just hang up.
They don't.
IPTE.
IPTE. Yeah. YA.
That sounded like yippee-ki-yay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Number 3 question. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. There are so many for this. But who would you say is the very most disappointing team in America? And maybe you're not a great person to ask.
I'm not a great person to ask now.
But
Alabama is the most disappointing team in America.
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and it could be right.
No, it is. I mean, I remember there being quotes of Saban laughing at press conferences, smiling, saying this team is good, and we were like, all like, oh fuck, like
You know
Saban
what?
doesn't get happy
There
unless
was Alabama fans, like legit ones who have like followings on Twitter. I'm not going to say the name because I actually like the guy, but he was saying, and it picked up some steam. After they lost to Georgia in the national championship, hey, I'm going. And then there was another one who said this too, who you don't like, down south.
Okay.
Down south.
I don't know what you're talking about. Just
never
continue.
mind. He was saying that Alabama, when Nick Saban, you remember when he sat down Will Anderson and Bryce
Right.
Young?
Yeah.
He was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Saban's next year or last year is next year, and he'll ride off into the sunset with Will and Bryce because these are the two of his most favorite athletes he's ever coached in his career. And guess what? They're not. They have to have literally a billion breaks to even get into the playoffs.
You think Alabama? You think Saban's even talked to Will Anderson over the last 3 weeks?
No, he's just like, hey, man.
Hey, 31.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't even call him Will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll see you at the draft, man.
So who's the most disappointing team this year? These are the A&M is obviously way up there. Boston College to me is way up there. Miami is just atrocious.
Stanford.
Michigan
Michigan
State,
State.
even though Michigan State's starting to stir a little bit, they beat Illinois, and I think there's starting to be some rumors they could be flipping a 5-star quarterback from Oregon, which if you believe that, whatever. But those are the ones that I thought about. But Alabama is actually an outside-the-box answer that is not terrible.
Virginia Tech's a great answer.
Another one. If I asked you this 3 weeks ago, Notre Dame was a great candidate, but now I don't think so. They have started to right the ship. They're ranked again.
Nebraska.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This whole show is a rabbit trail. Notre Dame being ranked is one of the dumber things I've ever seen.
I'm with you.
We knew Clemson was fake. We told you Clemson was fake. Everybody knew Clemson was fake. Notre Dame killed Clemson and then gets the spoils of beating number 4. They didn't beat number 4. They beat like number 18.
The same people voting on Notre Dame are the people voting on Clemson.
Yeah, but they beat like number 18 Clemson, and they lost to Marshall. They lost to Stanford.
There's a tweet going around. I think Adrian Sampson, who covers them for The Athletic, Notre Dame, said Marcus Freeman just did what Brian Kelly couldn't do in 11 years at Notre Dame: beat a top 5 team.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That one made me mad. You know what Marcus Freeman did that Brian Kelly never did?
Yeah.
Lose to fucking Marshall. Lose to a bad Stanford.
Yeah,
team.
and you know what Brian Kelly did multiple times that Marcus Freeman's not doing? The playoffs.
Also, can I add one more thing? I mean, Clemson was almost assuredly top 5 when Notre Dame beat them 2 years ago. In the regular season? Remember that game?
Yeah. So maybe that guy was
They
wrong.
I feel like they had to have been like 6. He wouldn't have gotten that wrong.
I feel like 2 years ago they
Adrian, it was like a viral tweet.
they played for a national title in 2019.
Right.
So why would they have been 6th in the middle of 2020?
Yeah, you're right. They had to have been top 5. Well, that feels like it was so long
who
ago.
fucking knows?
I would say
Wi-Fi sucks in this room.
you bring up Notre Dame. When we sat down and did our who's overrated, who's overranked in the AP, we talked about A&M, we talked about Notre Dame. Of those two, clearly A&M would be the most disappointing. I mean, they're not going to make a bowl game. I still think Michigan State, if I'm going to take my bias out of it, just because of the expectations they had, paying Mel Tucker, and then, here it is.
So as Marcus Freeman now has as many top 5 wins in his first season
Yes.
as Brian Kelly had in all 12 seasons. So that would
And his
explain
name's
that.
Pete Sampson. I apologize.
Pete Sampson. And he has a blue check, which means he's important.
No, he works at The Athletic. He covers them.
Oh, I thought he was a sports writer.
I see what you did there.
No, the Athletics sucks dick.
No, I know I know Michigan State's turning things around, but they hung their hat last year on beating Michigan. That clearly didn't happen. So I would say outside of the obvious answer for me, it would be Michigan State.
Which team, this is the next question. In
This is
Yeah, what are you
becoming
doing?
in 2022, I'm playing with the X.
It's becoming a horror movie?
Yeah.
I'm not killing all of you.
He's thinking about it.
Right.
He's keeping Noah around.
You can't kill me. That's double homicide.
I mean, listen, if this were a cliche movie, Noah would be the first one to go.
Oh my God, Brandon.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, in horror movies, the minority always goes first.
Oh,
Right.
Or the dumb blonde white girl.
Oh, you're going to, but Noah would, if this were a cliche movie, it's not, because I have different plans.
have you got
BYU.
Oh, yeah.
BYU is disappointing, especially considering where they should. Yeah, they've sucked.
I liked your heel turn on. So you did the tweet where you were like, "Here's where I was right. Here's where I was wrong."
Do you say Oklahoma?
You say
No. I like what you did when people would bring up other things you've said, and you're like, "That wasn't me."
it wasn't me.
That was so
That
funny.
was like in August.
Somebody said I said TCU was going to be bad. That wasn't me.
You said you said BYU is gonna be good, could potentially make the playoff. You're like,
I had a bad bowl of
that
chili
wasn't
that
me.
day.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That was months ago.
Yeah. What?
It is amazing how people sitting at home are like, okay, I'm gonna keep track of every single thing people say, as if they don't say dumb shit every day.
People
Well,
love when you're
here's
wrong,
the thing.
man.
Here's the thing, and I've noticed it more this year. My let's say I did 10 preseason takes. I'm doing pretty good. I probably like 6-4, 7-3, something like that. But the only ones that come back to you are the bad ones. The only ones that have come back to me are me saying Miami was good, or me saying
Alabama was elite.
Alabama was elite. But I don't get credit for saying Kansas was going to be good this year.
Of course not, because the people that are giving you the shit for it only want to hear the negative. So that's what they say. It's just like last weekend I said Tennessee was going to beat Georgia, and people are completely ignoring the fact that I also said LSU was going to beat Alabama.
You said it coming in this room today. You were like, I couldn't have been more right about Texas A&M.
You.
Yeah,
you.
At the
yes.
beginning of the year. Now, I did change in the middle of the season, say I think it's going to flip. It never flipped. But at the beginning of the season, I was like,
You, at the beginning of the season, I think you and Jack both said that you thought 8-4, maybe 7-5. And I was like, what are you talking about? So you didn't even give yourself credit for that. But, people just like to hang on to the shit, and that's fine, Brandon.
Which team has the best story? This is question 4. Who has the best story this year in college football?
It has to be Kansas.
You got TCU.
I mean,
Tennessee.
Those are the big 3. I mean,
yeah.
Tennessee's for all the shit they should get for like looking like a not great team against Georgia. I mean, they're about to cruise to the playoff.
Yeah.
They're going to waltz right into the playoff.
I don't know about that.
I think they're in now. They don't even need TCU to lose. I really think. I think they would probably survive a discussion with a Pac-12 champ. I do think TCU is going to lose, which opens up a spot. I think Tennessee would have to royally fuck up to not get in this
So
playoff.
TCU would be 3 and Tennessee would be 4?
As of right now, but putting aside my feelings about what TCU is going to do.
Because you think Tennessee has a better resume than a one-loss Michigan or Ohio State.
I don't think it's going to be close.
I agree.
Whoever loses that game has no resume.
I'm with you.
Whoever loses Michigan and Ohio State has no resume to speak of.
Even if it's really close?
That's their one saving grace.
Here's another question. What if Alabama, say they do lose this weekend, they lose to Ole Miss, then that Alabama win starts looking not as...
Here's the thing about Tennessee. People say, their Alabama win's not aging well. Yeah, but that LSU blowout is aging like a fucking beautiful glass of wine.
It is.
What
Yeah.
happens if LSU beats Georgia? Does Georgia still make it in?
No, what I think that's the only scenario that fucks Tennessee in my
Okay.
mind. That's the only scenario that fucks Tennessee because if LSU beats Georgia, LSU goes in as the SEC champ, even though they have 2 losses, and Georgia goes with them, and Tennessee gets fucked.
So-
even though Tennessee beat LSU by 27 points.
The ACC is out. We know that.
ACC's finished.
Yeah, they're
done.
done.
Don't have to talk about them.
So then you look at all the scenarios that it could play out. And again, I know you said you don't want to go through that. but
It's inevitable.
you would have to have only one team. I feel like Michigan, Ohio State, if it's really close and it's that last weekend before
If it's within
championship
3
weekends,
points, I think that you're going to get the discussion point, hey, they've lost once, and it was to the number 2 team in the country, and let's run it back. That's their saving grace. If Ohio State or Michigan wins that game by 10+, the other team has no resume to speak of.
Here's if Ole Miss makes it to Atlanta.
I don't know what we're talking about at this point.
But they could. They could. I know you don't want to admit it, but they could. LSU will probably be there, but say Ole Miss makes it there, and then Ole Miss beats Georgia.
Ole Miss ain't beating Georgia.
They're not, but that is a scenario where that could happen.
I'll
then
tell you
Tennessee
what,
would be left out.
LSU not making the title game is more likely to me than LSU beating Georgia in the title game.
Yeah, they could slip
So
off.
Because LSU goes to Arkansas this week, and that's
It's
going
a
to be
3-point spread.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
So if hypothetically,
The West could fuck everything up for everybody.
fuck everything up.
Yeah.
The West could fuck it up for Tennessee easily because I think that if Ole Miss goes to Atlanta again, I don't think that it's why. What's happening?
Who knows?
Okay, let's.
Just turn it over, baby.
Just
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
That means that person called 3 times to get through. If Ole Miss goes to Atlanta, I know you don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but there is the hypothetical situation it does. Ole Miss beats Georgia, Tennessee would be left out.
Oh yeah, that would happen. I think Georgia's to the point where if they go 12-0 and they're like last year, they were in regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Once they went 12-0 through the regular season, they lost the SEC championship game. They still got in. Georgia's in regardless right now, as long as they just don't fuck up in the regular season. If they were to lose, like I don't know, Saturday night to Mike Leach and his offense in Starkville, to a team that had an overtime game the other day, but is a lot better, and to a team
What you think
that
about
can
the video?
It's incredible.
To a
It
team-
is so funny.
to a team that can attack Georgia, and 2 years ago when Georgia was a 30-point favorite and they only won by 7 because Kirby doesn't know how to defend the air raid. I'm just saying hypothetically what might happen.
The video of him with the chairs is so fucking
That's not
funny.
even the one he's talking about. Is that the one you're talking
I'm
about?
talking about the chair video.
You're not talking about the cough video?
Coughing video is bizarre.
Have you seen the cough video?
Yeah, bizarre. Very bizarre. But
I-
that to me was more Mike Leach. Like, I mean, it's all Mike
It
Leach.
just kept
but
going. It was like
Is he
47.
all right?
It was like 47 seconds, and he got to the podium. If you haven't watched it, look on Twitter. I'm sure it's on Unnecessary Roughness
It is,
Twitter.
yeah.
He gets there, and he goes, oh, okay, all right, well, I've been working on this cough, guys. And they ask him a question. And he just keeps going for like 40 seconds. It's beautiful.
It's gross.
And the chair video, by the way, I know it's funny and great. I would have taken Saturday night. If you asked me, I could have taken away Mike Leach's chair. I was like, in my room, I was just taking up his chair and putting it aside. You don't deserve a chair right now, Coach.
You know, the sneaky funny part about that video too is that he's doing it during the game, but then if you look as he gets further down, there's another guy that's going to pick up the chairs.
Immediately pick up the chairs, yeah.
I felt so bad for that guy because you know that guy's like, God.
Yeah, it was
damn
2 of them. It was a
it."
girl too. The staffers were ready to pick up the chairs.
Like that, you see them come into the camera frame and they're just starting to pick them up. But yeah, Mike Leach. I mean, I love that Lane Kiffin.
So
quote
when I
tweeted
say
it,
which
too.
team has the best story, you immediately said Kansas. You said TCU. Tennessee's got to be one of the top
I don't-
3, right?
I feel like when
Tennessee was dead for 2
we-
decades.
Tennessee is absolutely the. I think that when you say story, it kind of has, and this sounds patronizing.
Cinderella?
It's kind of like a cute thing. It's like who has the best story. To me, it's Kansas. Kansas rushing the field, tearing down the goalpost because they're going to a bowl game, and just how great Lance Leipold has been. To me, it's like a Cinderella story, but it's just like a cute thing.
Yeah.
TCU and Tennessee are tied for me right now. I can flip flop
And Cuban
every
could win
minute.
it.
I need to see what this season. Like if Texas goes in there and shit kicks.
My only thing about TCU right now is it's for a hardcore college football fan watching. Yeah, TCU is very interesting. It's awesome and it's good. Tennessee just like took control of the sport for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Like they were
Absolutely.
you couldn't look anywhere without Tennessee. You couldn't look on and anywhere. You got the guy dancing. Like everything was Tennessee for a couple of
If
weeks.
it wasn't Sonny Dykes' first year, I think it would be a lot different. I just think first year, like you get changes already and they're flying. I think that adds to it. If it was second or third year, I'd be like, okay, cool, finally fit. First year head coaches, I don't think you feel that doesn't happen often. Look at Mario Cristobal.
All right.
You're taking Tennessee.
Huh?
You're taking.
It
Tennessee?
has to be Tennessee.
Yeah.
But Kansas is incredible as well.
I mean, there's an honorable mention, UConn.
he had to do it. He
He
had
has
to
a
do it.
point. It's an honorable mention.
You know what bothers me about this scenario is
Oh no.
as much as he is very positive about his team. Your team's 8-1. When are you going to become like that?
Oh, that's true.
I got some of my DMs being like,
I'd give my right not to be 8-1 right now.
I did too. No, someone be like,
I'd
you
love to be
think it's
8-1.
cool shitting on your team? You think like no? I think I don't believe it. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop.
Also,
I would love to
you
be 8-1.
left a program changing quarterback of yours left for the NFL, and then you
got a
replaced
better
him
one.
with the better one.
No, absolutely. I remember at the beginning of the year, we're like, okay, how are we gonna play Sam Howell? The defense ruins it for me. It's like we
yeah,
could
but
be
the
so
defense
much.
has been better over the last
They're
like month.
8-1.
Be
Defense-
like
I
an
would be-
Oklahoma fan, all right? You want to zen. You know how what's his name says be like water?
Yeah.
I want you to be like an Oklahoma fan from the Lincoln Riley era. Don't worry about the defense. We focus on the offense.
I think
be
I just-
like an Oklahoma fan.
I would tell you right now, and I think Brandon would probably agree with me. If my team was 8-1 in the middle of November, I would be insufferable.
None of you would want to do the show with me.
I would be so insufferable.
Okay, after last AP poll, we're 15. Alabama's 10. Do I look at North Carolina? We're 5 spots below Bama.
But that's a little bit different. I don't think you're like you guys could beat TCU.
I don't think we've been playing like a number 15 team.
Well, you haven't.
Like, so okay.
But
You're
still-
playing with
You've
house
been
money
saying
right
that
now.
We suck all the time.
You're
We're like
playing-
you're the most
you're winning.
overrated.
You're playing with house money. You're winning.
Just enjoy
It's,
the
we
moment.
have NC State coming down the road. It's like
Well, beat them then.
I would like to. I was cocky about it. Now I'm back to nervous. But
Where do you play them?
at NC, no, sorry, at home.
Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
I understand the hesitation because I think we all understand that as fans. But at this point, it's like it's what I say to Brandon about TCU. At this point, you can only win what's in front of you, and you're 8-1.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Got to do it, Katie.
I want you to take this statement and answer it however it comes to your mind first, okay?
Yeah.
Forget about what we've seen. Forget about the scenarios that might play out. Forget about where everybody's ranked. If I said, Casey Smith, give me your dream title game this year. Give me the 2 teams that you can put in the championship game that is the most interesting, the most fun, the most everything. Give me your dream title game for this year. Now, out of teams that are relevant to the title picture,
Right, of course.
you
I
can't
can't
just
choose.
say, I'll take Arkansas against Kansas State.
I would never.
You wouldn't, but I'm just saying you can't just take 2 teams just because your dream would probably be Texas A&M against anybody else. But what would be your dream title game?
That's such a good question. I mean, the knee-jerk reaction is Georgia, Michigan. That was like that's the therapy question.
Yeah.
But then I look at the way those 2 teams would probably match up, and I don't think that it would be a very fun.
We saw that in
championship
this
game.
calendar year, and it wasn't pretty.
Yes. So that's my issue with this question is like my answer at first therapy question, Georgia, Michigan. We saw how bad that was, and I don't think those 2 teams match up great. But
Yeah.
TV. I was like, why?
I didn't want to interrupt you talking, so
No,
I
no,
just,
no, it's fine. I mean, that's the answer I have to stick with because it is the first one that came to mind.
by doing this, it was maximum rude to both of you.
Yes.
That way I could be rude to both of you.
Who's yours? You've had time to think about it. See, that's the thing is.
Correct, and I've come up with a solution. I just think of a world where we're in the early 4th quarter of the title game, and Ohio State and Tennessee have just scored touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. You got an obnoxious fan base against an obnoxious fan base. Alabama's not invited to the party. I don't think this world's going to come true. I don't think Tennessee or Ohio State's going to play for a title because I think Georgia is. But just imagine where it's 52-52 Ohio State, Tennessee with 5 minutes left in the game.
Incredible. And to add to that with a different team, I think Tennessee USC would be a really fun one. Those 2 offenses. And defenses that have not played well.
I have maybe just a rabbit trail here. Let's do an award. USC might be the weirdest team in the country to me. They've got 1 loss, and that's an excusable loss. They lost by 1 point on the road at Utah. And by the way, got really shitty officiating that night. But they don't blow anybody out.
They can't.
But they never are in danger to lose either. Like they're always in control of the game. They're all like Stanford 41-28, Oregon State 17-14, Arizona State they beat by 17, Washington State they beat by 16. They beat Arizona by 8. They beat Cal by 6.
What's the difference between their record and UNC's record? 'Cause I feel a lot of close games and somehow just pull it out.
They're actually incredibly similar to UNC.
They are, but there's just no. Well, they have Lincoln Riley, they have cachet. They're a big time program, and North
Yeah.
Carolina's not. And that's
on the,
why.
like on the field performance. Like,
Yeah, I'm just trying to. They both lost to the only good defense they faced. Really.
Go to California's schedule. I just want to show you something. It'll make sense in a second.
I do feel like maybe the difference if you're watching those games is that and you mention all the time like the
USC
defense.
seems
Jake
prettier.
Plummer didn't get above 300 yards for the entire season. He's played the likes of UC Davis, UNLV, Arizona,
Yeah.
Washington State, Colorado. He put up 406 yards on USC's defense.
Yeah, I want to read Plummer's stats from Pac-12 games. 245 yards, 272, 262, 245, 214. Not terrible numbers, not great numbers. Better than Will Levis, of course. And then against USC, 406 yards. That's
And
something.
it
That
wasn't
is-
like at the end of the game on Saturday night, he just threw like a 90-yard pass. No, he was just dicing them
I think
up
it was
the
over
whole night.
300 at halftime. Because I remember
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah, he might
that
have
people
been.
are already talking about that stat.
You know what the difference feels like a little bit if you're actually watching the games between USC and North Carolina is that you said this perfectly, Brandon. It's like they never feel like they're in danger of losing. UNC has felt like they're
Oh,
in
yeah.
danger of losing games,
Well,
but they don't.
The actual answer is the difference between USC and North Carolina is that one's USC and one's North Carolina. If
But
you
yeah,
switch the
that's-
results and switch the jerseys, you would also switch the rankings.
Now, we should give some credit to USC for battling injuries the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
Addison's been out, and so has Mario Williams.
and
I
that's
believe.
fine. That's fine, Dandy. But we're talking about a team that's
Yeah.
getting ready for a playoff push,
I know.
and they're beating Arizona by 8 and Cal by 6. They're a weird team. That's all.
You know they have
But
a wide
they-
receiver named Michael Jackson on the team? His name's Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were going to make a sarcastic quip there, Brandon.
I just went through every song he ever had. I had a beat it joke. I had a thriller joke.
I was leaving the floor open for
I
you.
had a bad joke. Now you just embarrass me. See the way you make
Macaulay
me
Culkin
feel?
joke.
I don't know if they're going to be able to stop UCLA.
What?
Nothing.
What, you don't climb trees?
That UCLA game's going to be awesome. UCLA.
It
Then they have to
is.
play Notre Dame, who that'll be a good game too.
That game will be awesome. You know what else is awesome?
What?
Christmas time.
Yeah.
You know what's not awesome?
Tell me.
Not having your shopping list done.
Yes, please. Talk to me.
It is the worst whenever you get close to Christmas and you're like,
But-
oh shit.
but-
you know what's also awesome?
Casey, if I were buying for, say, a gentleman out there or a bro that doesn't need that bulky wallet, what would I buy?
Well, you would buy Ridge Wallet. And I was going to say, one of the best gifts to give anybody is a nice new wallet. Because guys go through wallets. Girls, if you're a wallet carrier,
And
you go
let
through
me
wallets
tell
like
you
crazy.
something.
The Ridge Wallet.
Let me tell you the truth.
The Ridge Wallet.
A guy will never, ever ask for a new wallet. Even though
Why
he
is
knows
that?
he need, because we get comfortable with these old things. We just, okay, well, that's fine. That's just what I have. We will never ask for a new wallet. But if you get him the Ridge wallet, he will thank you. He might not even say thank you, but he will be like, oh my God, this is the best thing that ever happened to me.
If you go look on the website, which I have done recently because I was looking for Ridge wallets.
Those
for
things
people in
look
my
good
life,
as hell.
There's so many different colors, so many different styles. They even have the different things, like if you would rather have like a cash strap, if you
Yeah.
would want one where you can carry more cash. We love the Ridge wallet.
The colors I'm looking at right now are 24 karat gold, Alpine Navy,
Forged Pacific.
gunmetal, Forged Pacific. Go down a little. There's
Your
my.
favorite? Burnt titanium.
They sound like battles.
They do.
They really do.
Carbon
Meta
fiber.
olive, matte olive, not meta. Forged carbon.
You lost so many times to make fun of me in that one.
No, I just said.
Can you zoom in for the poor man?
Look how far that is. I'm 43 years old. I'm looking at something that's across the room.
I like that.
What's
Just
that
a
one
miracle
right-
you can see it.
What's that
as
one right
is.
there?
What's the black and red one? I like that one.
Half Dome.
Hennessy
Half dome.
Performance.
Half-
I
I've been-
hate half dome. Man.
I've been married 16 years. That's all I get.
Yep.
Hennessy Performance. Love that one.
Hennessy Performance.
I love that.
These colors are awesome. I'm looking at a light blue one, which is cobalt titanium.
They've got,
it's
full
awesome.
blown hula girls on the
Hennessy Performance
neon
is a Friday night
Yeah.
for me when I go out with troops.
Jack's working on a stand-up act
it
right
is
now.
so-
All right, continue.
So not only are the Ridge wallets
Look at
awesome,
Damascus. Look at that one.
The rose gold
Damascus.
one is
That's
so
actually
cool.
a great
It looks
football
like wood.
team, football school in New Jersey. Damascus. They have some great players
All
out
right.
of that school.
I mean-
Time. Continue.
I'm still stuck on how great the rose gold looks. So we also know that they have the RFID blocking technology
Yeah.
because it's not safe out there on the streets, people.
No.
That people aren't just grabbing your wallet out of your back pocket. They're also using their phones. They will not do it because digital pickpocketers cannot get into the Ridge wallet. They also have the key case.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 2 to 6 key case that can put everything together, organize it. They've got 6 colors and styles, including your burnt titanium that you love so much.
Delicious.
So go to ridge.com and use code UR, the letters UR, for 10% off your first order, or off your order in general. Again, it's Christmas time, it's coming up, but it's never a bad time to buy somebody a badass new wallet in Hennessy color.
Yes.
We love the Hennessy color. Again, UR, 10% off your first order at ridge.com.
All right, we got to kind of go through these a little bit. My question number 6. Anybody else have a dream title game they want to talk about?
Oh, sorry, go.
Go ahead.
I don't know necessarily about matchup, but I think just the world would implode if we had a Michigan-Ohio State title game.
A rematch, yeah. Like,
Like,
let's say Ohio
cool.
State won a 48-45 game in the regular season.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
that would.
Just like, especially like I thought about this with March Madness last year, UNC Duke for a title game. I would hate it, but everyone else would love it. Just like two rivals.
Yeah.
Like you kind of end the rivalry right there.
A Tennessee,
Michigan
Georgia.
would be fun too.
That
Just,
would be
but
good.
that's more for this office.
All right. Well, did you have one? Tennessee, Michigan. You just
Yeah,
said
I
it.
just said it, but it was
Okay.
like you guys have named some great ones.
That's the thing when you look at the Tennessee or Georgia scenario playing against Michigan. Like you said, we've seen Georgia, Michigan this year. It's just like the way that a Big Ten team versus an SEC team, it just doesn't sound great.
I got
right
to
now.
take.
What's your take?
I think everybody's starting to crown Georgia a little too fast. I think they're a very good team. I think they're the best team in the country. They did beat Tennessee 27-13, and as much as I think Kirby put his foot on the gas or off the gas, I don't think Georgia's unbeatable at all. I think Georgia's the best team, and I would favor them to win the national title. But could I see a Michigan or an Ohio State giving them hell on a neutral field? Could I see Tennessee giving them a better game on a neutral field? Yeah, I think the answer is yes to all of
Yes.
Struggle versus Mizzou.
Yeah, they struggled.
And Kent
They've had two struggle games, and they've been great in every other game. So they played 9 games. They've been great 7 times.
I will say though, the stats for that Georgia Tennessee game suggest an absolute ass whooping.
definitely.
Right.
And
I do think they could have been about 40 if they wanted to, and if it hadn't started raining.
The adjusted scoring margin, according to Bill Connolly, is 26. Actual is 14. Post game win expectancy of 100%. That's very rare. They just dominated in everything.
The score did not do it
And
justice.
they had a 26-point adjusted scoring margin and a monsoon for the second half. That could have been, yeah, you're right, 40.
May I say something?
No,
I know you're going to agree with me though.
I said no.
You're gonna say
Stetson's
yes.
numbers are insane, man.
Continue.
Are Georgia fans ever going to let go of people saying that stadium potentially
say
could not
something?
rattle
Can I s-
Tennessee?
the-
And the idea that Hendon Hooker was rattled, we saw that at halftime. Are Georgia fans going to ever shut the fuck up? Ever?
I don't know that I've met a group of people that wants more flowers and more cookies for being loud than this group wants. Guys, everything that people said in the lead up to Saturday was true. If you look in the SEC over the last decade, 2 decades, Sanford Stadium doesn't measure up to Tiger Stadium, Knoxville. Now, on Saturday, and really since Kirby got there, it has come a long way. And Saturday was elite. It was loud. It led to 7 false starts. It was a dominant
Correct.
performance by a fan base.
Through the rain.
But you guys absolutely want to be crowned as the hardest place to play ever and the best crowd ever. Like, you've come a long way and you've gotten a lot better. But there's a reason people were saying LSU has a better crowd. There's a reason people were saying it was louder. But again, Saturday, Tennessee, you were elite, but you guys want your flowers and cookies so much from that. Just relax. You have an elite football team.
I was getting a lot of comments, of course, which I deserve. I will say this. Let me say this one more time. I said this at halftime of this game. I was wrong about that specific game. I was wrong that it wasn't going to rattle Hendon Hooker and the offensive line in Tennessee. But people were tagging me in something that you said years ago about it. And you said you called it, in comparison to other SEC stadiums, it's a library. And
Is this a library?
And
Is this a library?
my point
Is
to that
this
was
a
is
library?
you.
Is there a fire drill?
Just time.
What is that?
It's a soccer
Soccer.
chant.
Oh, okay.
Is there a fire drill?
The point is that you didn't say that about this past weekend, but
No.
people are dragging it up and tagging me, which is warranted because of what I said. But you can be wrong. I was wrong, but it was one Saturday. It was elite. It was fucking awesome. But like, let it go. You won the game. Enjoy it.
All right. Now, last 2 questions we'll run through. We often talk who's the next coach fired, okay? I want you to expand your minds now and go forward to next season, all right?
Oh, man.
Oh, next season.
Who's the first coach that gets fired next season? Which means, who's the coach that's put himself on the hot seat this year, but you can't really fire him yet? Who's the coach, who could you see getting fired next season? Who has used this year to put themselves squarely in the hot seat? Who has used this year to put themselves in danger? Jeff Hafley, Boston College, is certainly one. Pat Fitzgerald might be coaching for his job soon. Who knows? I don't know if they would ever fire Pat Fitzgerald.
David Shaw, maybe.
I think he gets
He'll be
fired this
this
year.
year.
So you got to kind of balance who's going to get fired this year with who can get fired. This is almost like who's on deck for the hot seat.
I mean,
If Dana
Jimbo,
it's Jimbo.
If Dana Holgerson has a bad year next year, I think he could be out.
can I throw a name to you?
Tell me.
I know he'll probably cry, but what if Tom Allen goes 2-10 again next year?
No, you
'Cause-
have to get rid of him.
I mean, he's been like they had one miracle year a couple years ago.
It was a fake year.
It was a fake year, and then he was bad last year. He's bad this year. What if he goes bad next year? Like, he could get fired. What if Tuck Cummins goes 4-8 next year?
What is his buyout? Does he?
It has to be.
He's
It has
not
to be.
guaranteed.
I
But
think
it's not fully
guaranteed.
guaranteed, is
No,
it?
I think it is.
It is just like A&M. That's
Mel would have to have a really bad year. He could also prove himself on the recruiting trail, but it would be year 4, and if he goes 6-6 again, yeah, I think there'll be some conversations. There's one coming up too that, like, if Rutgers doesn't start winning Big Ten games.
Shiano.
Man,
Yeah.
I know he's like,
What about Drink at Missouri?
No, they just extended him.
no, he's
Doesn't
good.
matter. I've said it before. Extensions don't matter at all.
I know.
They don't matter at all.
But if they give you an extension for more money, he didn't do the Jim Harbaugh where they gave him like less or whatever. They have to be a little bit high on him
I
to
think
even
he has a
offer
good team
them.
this year.
all right. Yeah, but he keeps
yes.
losing games with them. He could be.
know.
They beat South Carolina.
They're
Isn't
gonna
that
be-
big for them?
Missouri, no, they're fine. Drink is in a situation that Frost and Nebraska were in last year where Missouri's probably a lot better than the record they have this year. They could have beaten Georgia. They could have beaten Kentucky. They could have beaten Auburn. Like, they're going to go 5-7 or something like that, and we're going to be very close to 8-4 or something like that.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I know people don't want to hear it, but Jimbo is the number one answer for that because they're not going to make a bowl game this year. They're not going to fire him this year because the whole narrative is, oh, look, it's all freshmen. Look how young. They play at Miami week 2. If they lose that game in embarrassing fashion and then lose to Auburn and Arkansas in the month of September, he's done. He could not.
I have the perfect answer.
Yeah.
Can I just piggyback off hers real quick?
Yeah.
Jimbo is the unique coach where there's no game that's going to get him fired. Jimbo's most important 30 days this year are December 1st to December 31st. When the transfer portal opens and when the recruiting classes sign, he can either get fired or keep his job.
But see, he could definitely keep his job for this year. But if he then
No, I'm
opens
saying
it-
going forward.
But if he opens up the season, so they open up the season with a shit team,
But-
but he could lose to Miami, Auburn, and Arkansas. And
If he keeps that class, you're
What
coming
percent
right
of the
back in
class?
with hope next year.
What percent? Because you already lost
80.
one. Okay.
80. All right.
Also, coaches always lose it. Like, it was a bad 5-star to lose, but coaches lose 5 stars around.
Well,
the
yeah, he didn't lose a player. He lost a
recruit.
Commit.
recruit. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
but I'm
hasn't
saying
signed
like
yet.
But of the number one overall class, he
one
hasn't
thing
yet, but-
Brandon's been saying since it was like the on the field is not going to matter. It's like if you lose that class, then he's gone.
Right. What was yours?
Mike Loxley. Man, I mean, they took another bad loss this past weekend. If Mike Loxley again next year, he's
talking about
recruits
Maryland.
fine, but, yeah, but if Maryland has a tough year next year, I think he'll be gone. He's not up here right now.
All right.
What about Mario Cristobal? We saw Brian Harsin for 2
Too
years.
early, and he's going to have like a top 5 class, I think. He's going to have a big time class. And I think
They
Miami.
invested so much on
Miami to me is going to be, if I had to predict the most active team in the transfer portal, the USC of this year or the Ole Miss of this year, I think Miami is going to destroy the transfer portal.
I love that Katie has CoachHotSeat.com up, which is just a very funny website.
Yeah.
And like Venables is on there, which is just, I mean, now you have to throw him on there. Venables isn't getting
All right.
fired.
Last question. All right. Everybody close their eyes.
For real?
Close your eyes. We'll go Casey first, so everybody doesn't have to sit with their eyes closed. Casey, if I say 2022 football season, what picture pops into your mind?
Tennessee football.
I-
Neyland Stadium.
Like the goalpost going in the.
Yep. The checker, the run out, the tee,
Yeah.
smoky. I mean, that was immediately.
Close your eyes. What do you picture?
It's going to be that, but like the side by side of LSU, the two Bama Storm fieldings.
Field stormings.
That one, yeah.
Jack, close your eyes. If I think 2022 football season, what do you say?
Big T almost killing a pregnant woman.
And how do I do
Correct.
tobacco?
Correct. Oh, the cigar.
That
I've
was
never
so-
done tobacco before.
That was so funny.
Brandon,
All right.
close your eyes. You've had hours to think about this, but what comes to mind?
Me standing on the stage shitting all over Iowa people and them throwing cans
Ooh,
at
that's
you.
a good one.
Also,
That's
you
a
want to know
good
something that's
one.
going to make you happy?
What?
The clip you had about Auburn being the best open job in America and
Yeah.
the worst open job in America.
Yeah.
Clessy, she liked it.
Did she really?
Yeah.
That's Brian Harson's side piece.
Well, allegedly.
Alleged. side
Allegedly,
piece.
yeah.
You have to throw allegedly in front of it.
If
Yeah,
I'm Brian
because
Harson,
Auburn fans God forbid you talk about some rumor. They would never do that.
If I'm Brian Harsin, though, I'm owning that immediately. I'm like, yeah.
Did you see the rumors about if this happens again to Oregon?
Dan Lanning?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
There's some
The,
rumors.
the rumors that Dan Lanning could be open to going to Auburn, which would mean they would have lost Willie Taggart, they would have lost Mario Cristobal, and then they would lose potentially.
My
you got to
brain
stop
thought-
hiring Southern guys.
right?
My brain thought you were talking about there was an affair rumor.
No, there.
Yeah, that's where my
no.
mind went.
Oregon is like going out and saying, all right, well, which coach can we get that will definitely leave us?
Yeah.
And they go, let's go get Dan Lanning from Georgia. Like, maybe get somebody from the West Coast.
Well,
next
but
year.
maybe they're just they're dating out of their league for a second just
Or
to see how it
these
feels.
coaches are not out of their league.
Well, no.
Do you
but
think
like,
that loss to Georgia would hurt him in that?
What?
No.
Dan Lanning?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit.
don't
They'd
care.
be fine. You think
He's an
Auburn?
SEC
You think
guy.
Auburn's going to look at somebody and say, "Oh my God, they lost to Georgia. We can't hire him." I
Yeah.
mean, nobody's more used to losing to Georgia than they are right now.
Fair enough.
The inaugural Barstool Sports Invitational coming to the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia this Friday, November 11th. Stoolies and Hoops fans across the country will be there to witness Barstool Sports pull off a college basketball event like no other. If you can't make it to the arena, you can watch the entire broadcast on Barstool.tv starting at 4:45 Eastern. Dave and Big Cat will be on the call and confirmed. Big Cat will be singing the most important national anthem of his life. In game one of the basketball doubleheader, UAB, very good, maybe the best mid-major team in America this
Jelly
year.
Walker, right?
Will be facing.
Partial athlete.
They're fantastic. They'll be facing Toledo.
Who's also, I guess, a pretty good team.
All four of these are good teams, and all the mid-majors are good. They'll face Toledo, and then Akron will take on the main event, the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
You guys
Chris
gonna be
Jans. It would be pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I will say. Bet the under is what I'm saying. You'll also be able to watch Yak basketball at halftime and first game and tons of other surprises throughout the night. Tune in this Friday starting at 4:45 Eastern on Barstool.tv. That's Barstool.tv.
And you're doing a halftime show,
I'm doing
right?
everything. I've got
Except
30
for
things to
jumping
do.
on
I
a
love
trampoline.
this graphic where it just says the Barstool Sports Invitational featuring Brandon F. Walker.
That's on your Instagram.
I
right now.
imagine I have somebody in this room, perhaps all the way to the left, to thank for that graphic.
Yep.
Okay,
It's a
thank you very
fantastic
much.
graphic.
It's purposely done. I know how to
Be
cut out
nice
stuff
to her.
better, but I thought it was going to be funny,
All right.
more rudimentary.
I will say I will be on my couch watching you, rooting you on from New
By the way,
York.
Katie had a story last night of these little kids
Thank
playing
you.
football.
I thought that was so funny.
But I thought the funniest part was the little kid doing the gritty.
Yeah. No, so I went to the Bills-Jets game at halftime. They had, I
Jesus,
think,
Jesus.
some like Long Island, Staten Island kids, little exhibition game. They were like teeny weeny kids. And so I put up my stories, like how kind of Northwestern and Colorado to do an exhibition game. But you could tell, like, they had coaches, like, pulling them in positions, like, they didn't know where they were
That's
going.
cute.
And the little kid scored a touchdown and
Just
he did a gritty.
the entire back of the end zone. And there's all the comments in my Instagram was like, disgusting holding on 56, like, ref shot.
All right. Well, we got to get out of
thought
here.
it was
Me and
very
Katie got to go
cute.
do another show.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Good stuff.
I
Hey,
have to pee.
thanks, guys. And we're back to the wide camera angle. It was something we tried, and we didn't love it, but
We have Doc Noah a full week's pay.
yeah, Noah.
So-
He can't even eat.
All of you
Yeah.
YouTubers who commented about it, it has come out directly out of Noah's paycheck. So
he couldn't pay rent last month.
can't, so
He's-
Noah's down bad right now, but
Noah's not even allowed to drink water in office hours.
who cares? It's just Noah, right? If you guys have a complaint about the show, we will always
Yes.
take it out on Noah. All right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back Thursday. That's Unnecessary Roughness.